Hi, my name is Chengye, and my project is about nostalgia and intergenerational communications. So it's about using the nostalgia and user interface design to enhance the understanding of different generations, thereby improve the environment of intergenerational communication. So the generation gap is the differences between individuals from various generations of life. With the popularity of the network, the rapidity with which information is manufactured and disseminated, people of all ages and social classes can communicate across all kinds of barriers. Each person's version is broader, stronger, and same for the generation gaps than delineation, which has more criteria. As a result, fresh ideas with collide with the old ones, and the generation gap will be formed. In China, the Chinese meaning of intergenerational communications and generation gap are almost identical. Identical. When people mention intergenerational communications, they will subconsciously associate it and replace it with a generation gap, which usually brings negative impression to people. For most people, intergenerational communication is equal to the generation gap, as well as the conflicts and communication barriers between generations. These contradictions and problems are difficult to alleviate, and more often that in most of cases, most people are unwilling to spend time to understand and try to solve this problem. And culture, history, and social systems all influences the type, extent, and the breadth of the generation gap. The generation gap is not a reflection of social disease in general, but rather a progressive social phenomenon that has occurred over time. Generation gap is not only an old problem with historical significance, but also a new international problem with contemporary contemporary significance. As the generation gap continues to appear and expand, there have been frictions and the contradictions between generations. In today's society in China, the wealth of the generation gap is constantly expanding in the family, school, and or the working places. The generation gap does not only appear between the people of different eras, but also occurred between the people of the same generations when the age gap is not large. The frictions between various ideas and lack of proper guidance and communications usually exacerbate the confrontations and contradictions between a group of people. So the research questions about this for this project is how to use nostalgia culture, design symbols and connotations to redesign and make them vibrant and attractive again, so that to establish common topics between the generations and eliminate the generation gaps to reduce the contradictions and frictions brought by the generation gap and improve the intergeneration communication environment. And the aim of these projects is to explore how to use nostalgia to encourage the younger generations to learn more about their elders, and at the same time encourage the elders to be more proactive, proactive to telling their own experience and stories so as to strengthen and improve the communications with each other and reduce the negative effects of the generation gap. And the methodologies I use is comparative and cross-cultural research, and the methods I use is online questionnaire, interview, and observations and photography. These methods can help me to get more data and feedbacks and more in depth and detailed answers to help me to analyze. And here are some key informations I have conclude after complete the secondary research, such as digital media will not reduce the interactions between children and parents, but coexist with them. Digital communications technologies do not always play a negative roles in family communication, and nostalgia can help reduce the prejudice and increase social forms and empathy. For family members, collective nostalgia can help deepen an individual's sense of family identity, reduce prejudice and against other family members, and enhance family support and loyalty. And the last one, in most cases, nostalgic themes is suitable for almost all ages. And after complete the online questionnaire, I found the most Chinese young people do not communicate frequently with their elders and consciously avoid communication. Young people are discussed that their elders interfere too much with their own life, and they are quite hate with the topics such as studies, works, marriage, and relationships. They believe that the main reason for the conflicts with elders included large differences in perceptions in all aspects of life, inappropriate communication skills and attitudes, and a lack of understanding. In addition, young people are more interested in the nostalgic themes, especially some easy topics such as elders' growth experiences and love experiences. After the interviews and some analyzing the results, I found that the majorities of Chinese middle-aged and elderly people are highly receptive to the theme of the nostalgia, and they are very willing to tell young people about their experiences and stories, memories. But on the other hand, they are not unwilling to listen to what their older elders have to say, as communicative factors such as repetitive content and slow speech greatly reduce their interest and patience. And this is also the reason why young people in China are unwilling to communicate with and listen to their elders. In addition, they are highly receptive to digital media entertainment, and most middle aged and elderly Chinese believe that photos and videos from the past are excellent media that can help them evoke most past memories and bring a sense of happiness. After the primary research, I summarized some key messages and realized that improved intergenerational communication can be achieved through improved communications methods. not only rely on listening and speaking, but using digital media and images to help people in different eras better express themselves and have a deeper understanding for each other. And after the analyzing all the survey researchers results, I began to design the design outcome and plan to design a product's customizations applications that helps people users to share nostalgic memories. These are some concept drafts and sketches and semi-finished design. In the early stage of design, I have been thinking about the name of the applications and what meaning it should be given. And considering that the majority of users are Chinese, I finally decided to use three Chinese characters 在一起 as the application's name and logos and apply it in the icon. The mean the name has the following meanings, such as the pronunciations with the multiple meanings. It means to remember and be together, and aims to create connections. And you can see that between the characters, there's a little bit connections between each others, and easy to read and identify for different user groups. Those characters are not complicated, and for most of the Chinese, they can easy to read um, and know what's the mean. And next is the official applications page display and applications functions in introductions. The first is the loading page and the user login page. The user can choose register an account or login by other ways. And when the user uses the applications for the first time, the loading page is blank. But when user use more, then it will change. The loading page will be changed according to the content and images that uploaded by the users. The leftmost page is the home page of the application. Users can click the circle button to upload pictures from the mobile phone's photo album, or click the scan button on the upper left corner of the page to scan and shoot real objects and images. After upload is complete, the user can click the edit button to crop and up the image, add some text, and add filters in order to achieve user satisfaction. After finish the picture editing, the users can click the type button on the home page to start the customizations of the product and selection of the product's types, styles, and colors, or add additional pictures, completing the customization of and purchase after entering the necessary information for the purchase and save the customized products tablet. And user can click the button below the home page to browser, share, and delete pictures and customize product tablets that can have been uploaded and edited. According to the result of the interview, most users believe that photos and videos of the past and can remind them that their nostalgic past rather than some products of specific era. So I think it's more appropriate that accept and acceptable to use users' own photos as the subjects of customized products. I also designed a mascot for the applications in order to attract the attention for of young people and increase the recognition Organizations. The design of the mascot is inspired by the Clockwork Frog toy mass produced in China in 1980s, which has become an unforgettable childhood memory for many young people born after the 1980s. The color and the basic appearance elements of the toy were retained when designing this mascot, and with the aim of making more young people feeling nostalgic and helping them recall fond memories of their childhood. After user testing, basis on based on their feedback, the following suggestions are summarized. And first, the application's name is easy to understand and interesting and meaningful, but needs to design more supporting products to reach the content, and fewer options available, and some details are and functionalities are incomplete. Hmm, need clear, recognized, and mascot can feel nostalgic and fond of it, but it's difficult to create a connections between the mascot and the application. And finally, I summarize some existing limitations and disadvantages, such as the nostalgic theme is not obvious enough and lack of the recognitions. Some feathers of the applications are missing, and mascot and application styles are not unified. So, how to improve it could across it could by improve and enrich the functions and details of the applications and more nostalgic elements and related products. Adjust the style of the mascot and the application's interface to strengthen the connections. And that's all. Thank you.